So let's see another problem today, that is merge intervals. Okay, so you will be given a set of non overlapping intervals which are sorted and a new interval. Okay, so you need to insert this new interval into the already provided array of intervals. Okay, and you need to make sure that the returned intervals are also sorted. Okay, so the first argument that would be given is an array of intervals. The second argument that is to be given is the new interval. Okay, so you need to return the merged interval. Okay, array of merged intervals. Okay, suppose you have intervals that is 1 and 3, 6 and 9. Okay, and the new interval is 2, 5. Okay, and you need to insert this 2, 5 in this original intervals. Okay, so what would be your output? So the output would be 1569. Okay, so let's understand this problem, okay, with few examples. Okay, the problem with few examples. So here you are going to have two cases. Okay, the first one would be the new interval will not be intersecting with any of the intervals in the array list. Okay, the second case will be when the new interval would be intersecting or overlapping with the existing intervals in the array list. So let's see how to solve in both the situations. Okay, suppose you always, and here always consider, like it's given in the question, that the existing intervals in the array list are always sorted, and the array list which you need to return or print should be sorted. Okay, so let's consider you are given a new interval called 4, 5, and the existing intervals in the array list are 8, 9 and 15, 20. So how to proceed this? Okay, so ideally when you see this, okay, so 4, 5 should come here at the beginning. Okay, so as you need to return a list of intervals which are sorted, so this 4, 5 should ideally come here. So how to achieve this? Okay, what you can do here is you can check the end of the new interval if it is less than the start of the first interval in the array list. Okay, so it's less. So what you can do here is you can create a new array list and simply insert this new interval in there. Okay, okay, so after that what you can do is you can assign the next interval in the existing array list to a new interval. Okay, so now this is the new interval, so this will again check the same condition, that if the end of this new interval is less than the existing interval in the array list. Yes, it's less. Okay, so you are going to simply put this in the new array list. Okay, now the control will move to this. Okay, and our loop will end. Okay, so we have achieved this condition. So we have achieved the merged array list and it's sorted. And ideally, so when the control moves here, not have been added to the new array list. So later you can put a condition like, if something is remaining, then simply add it to the new array list. Okay. Okay. So let's see the second case, second non-intersecting case, when you would have a new interval which would be typically get inserted in the last part of the existing intervals. Okay, so this 12, 15, so you have 4, 8 and 9, 11 as the existing intervals in the array list. So ideally this 12, 15 will get inserted at the end. Okay, so here what condition you are going to check is, so if the start of the new interval is greater than the end of the existing interval, okay, then what you are going to do is you are going to add this interval into a new array list, this one, okay, not this one, okay, this one in a existing array, in a new array list, okay. So what will happen is this will get added to a new array list, okay, and when the for loop moves to the second interval in the existing array list, so again the same condition will get checked, okay. If the start of the new interval is greater than the end of the existing interval, okay, so what happens in this case? It matches. So your this existing interval in the array list will get added to a new array list, and at the end, when the for loop finishes, when the for loop reaches at the end of the existing array list, so what will happen? You simply add the remaining interval, that is this one, to the new array list. Okay, I hope I am clear on this. Last case, when we have intersecting or overlapping new interval, so what will happen? So the new interval here is 2, 10, okay, and the existing intervals in the array list is 2, 3, 8, 9 and 15, 20. So this new interval is getting overlapped here, okay. So let's see what will happen here, okay. So when the for loop begins, okay, so first uh, the condition discussed in the point 1 will get checked. If new interval dot end is less than interval dot get I the start, so here new interval dot end is 10 and interval dot get I the start is 2, so the condition becomes false, okay. And it will move, then again it will move to the second case where we are checking new interval dot start, okay, is greater than interval dot get I dot end. So new interval dot start is 2 and whether it is greater than the interval dot get I dot end. No, so 2 is not greater than 3, okay. So when both of the above conditions are failed, then it will move to the third condition, okay, where we are calculating the new interval dot start and new interval dot end. That is, new interval dot start is equal to the minimum between the new interval dot start and the existing interval in the array list. So 2 and 2, the minimum is going to be 2, okay. So minimum here is going to be 2, and similarly we are calculating the new interval dot end, that is the max between the new interval end and existing intervals in the and the end of the existing intervals end in the array list, okay. So the maximum between 10 and 3 is 10, okay. Now again the for loop will move to the second intervals in the array list, okay. So again the above conditions will be checked, that is whether new interval dot end is less than interval dot get I dot start. So the new interval dot end is 10 and interval dot get I dot start is 8, so the condition is false, and again we'll move to the second condition if new interval dot start is greater than new interval dot get I dot end. So the new interval dot start is 2 and interval dot get I dot end is 9, so 2 is greater than 9, false, okay. Again, so the third condition will be executed, okay. So we'll calculate the minimum between 2 and 8 here, so it is 2, again 2, and the maximum between 10 and 9 here, so it is again 10, okay. So we have completed we have looked over both these cases now, okay. So we have looked over both these intervals now, okay. So let's move to the last interval in the array list, okay. So when this will be compared with this, so what will happen? So again we'll move from the step 1 condition whether new interval dot end is less than interval dot get I dot start, okay. So here the new interval dot end is 10 and interval dot get I dot start is 15, okay. So the condition fulfills, okay. So what we'll do here is, so as discussed in the step 1, okay, so this 210 will get added to a new array list, and your new interval is going to be 15 and 20. So practically you are removing this 2. Okay, so this will get added to a new array list, and this will be your new interval. Okay, and as you reach the end of the intervals in the array list, so at the end what you are going to do is simply going to add this to the new array list. So we now have our new merged array list of this. So we have a main class where we have an array list ARR, and we are adding intervals in the array list by using new interval. Okay, the interval class is here. Okay, we are creating an object of the solution class, then we are calling the merge list method, and we are passing a new interval called 2 and 10. Okay, so in the solution, okay, what we are doing is we are creating a new array list as discussed previously, that is called merge intervals. Okay, and we are creating two variables called start index and end index, and we are assigning it to new interval dot start and new interval dot end. Okay, we are also creating another variable to hold the length of the intervals. Okay, that is the array list which has multiple intervals. Okay, that size, and we are looping over this array list. Okay, what we are doing here? Okay, let's compare it with the explanation. Okay, if new interval dot end is less than interval dot get I dot start, that is the first case which I discussed. Okay, so we are adding the new interval in the merge interval, and we are assigning the new interval as intervals dot get I. Okay, the second condition is for the second case which I discussed. So if new interval dot start is greater than interval dot get I dot end, we are simply adding the intervals dot get I to the merged intervals array list. Okay, and the third case is where we are getting an intersecting condition. Okay, so we are calculating the new interval start and new interval end. The new interval dot start is calculated by using the minimum of new interval start and intervals dot get I dot start, and the new interval dot end is calculated by using the maximum of new interval dot end and new interval dot get I dot end. Okay, and as discussed, if anything is remaining, we are simply adding it to the merged intervals list. Okay, so let's execute and see how it's going. So let's see, like let's execute the first case. Like we have a new intervals called 8, 9 and 15, 20, and we are having a new interval called 4, 5. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so ideally 4, 5 should be coming at the beginning of the new array list. Okay, and the remaining that is 8, 9 and 15, 10, 20 will get added to the array list later. Okay, so let's execute debug and see, like let's debug and see what is happening here. Okay, so it had entered the debugging mode. Okay, we have added the existing intervals in the array list, and we are calling the merge list method with the new interval as 4 and 5. Okay, so it created a new array list here, and it's assigning the start index and index. Okay, now it has entered the for loop. It will be looping over these two intervals. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so new interval dot end is less than interval dot get I dot start. Yes, it matches. So we'll add this new interval to the new array list. and we will assign the new interval to the existing intervals in the array list. Okay, so this is done. Okay, and we'll move over to the next list in the existing array list. Okay, and this condition will also get true, and we'll add that to the array list. Okay, a new interval will get assigned to the last intervals in the existing array list. Okay, and this for loop will end, and the remaining interval in the existing array list will get added to the new array list. Okay, so I am simply printing it here. Okay, I'm simply printing it here. So this condition gets executed, and what do we have what do we have as output? So it is 4, 5, 8, 9 and 15, 20. Okay, I hope you are able to get what I am trying to explain. So let's move to the second condition. So where 12, 15 will be added to the end of the new array list. So we have 4, 8 as the existing intervals in the array list. Next, what we have here is 9, 11. Okay, and the new interval that we have here is 12, 15. Okay, so let's enter the debug mode and see what happens. Okay, so this part I have already discussed with you. A new array list is created called merge intervals. So the start index is assigned as new interval to start, end index is assigned as new interval dot end. Okay, the length is assigned as the existing intervals size. Okay, okay, so now let's move to the for loop. So the first condition will be false here, so it will move to the second condition, which will be true, which holds true here. Okay, that is new interval dot start 12 is greater than intervals dot get I end. So 12 is greater than 8. Okay, so what will happen? We'll add this 4, 8 to the new array list. Okay, so it's added. Okay, we'll move to the next interval in the existing array list. The first condition will be false. It will move to the second condition, that is whether 12 is greater than 11. That's true. So we'll add this 9, 11 to the new array list. Okay, it's added. Okay, and we reach the end of the for loop here. Okay, and what is remaining? So both these are added to the new array list. So only thing is remaining is 12, 15. So we'll add the new interval to the new array list. Okay, okay, here we have added the existing intervals to the new array list, and the new interval is remaining, so we add that to the new array list. Okay, and here we are simply printing it out. Okay, so we get the output as 4, 8, 9, 11 and 12, 15. Okay, so let's see the last condition. Okay, that when we have an intersecting case. Okay, so what we have in the array list? So we have 2, 3 and 8, 9. Okay, and what we have the next is 15, 20. Okay, and what we have as the new interval is 210. That's an intersecting or overlapping interval. Okay, so let's see what's the output. Let's debug and see how it's going. Okay, Uh, I have discussed this part, so I'll be quickly just stepping it over. And I have created a new array list, and the start index I'm assigning as new interval to start, and end index in a similar way new interval to end. I'm calculating the length of the existing array list. Okay, and I'm looping up the array list. So this condition is going to get false, and this condition is going to get false. We'll move to the else part. We'll calculate the new interval start index and new intervals end index. Okay, so now this is getting compared with this. Okay, 210 is going to getting compared with 23. Okay, and the for loop will move over to the next element. Okay, so now it's moving. So the first condition is false, second condition is false. We move to the else part, where we're again calculating the new interval dot start and new interval dot end. Okay, so it's done, and we are now comparing it with the last interval in the array list. So here the first condition is going to get true. Okay, so the new interval, that is this, is going to get to the added to the new array list. Okay, and what you're going to do is, after this is added to the new array list, we are going to assign the new interval of this. Okay, so new interval of this. Okay, now we have reached the end of the for loop. Now what is going to happen is, this 1520 is remaining, so that is going to get added, because we had assigned this 1520 to the new interval. Okay, so this is remaining, and that is going to be added to the new array list. Okay, so let's see what we have the output. We have the output as 210 and 1520. So I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to explain. This is a problem of medium difficulty, so please take a pen and paper and start iterating by your own. Okay, make some mistakes and then we'll learn. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe the channel. Okay, as this was a very lengthy explanation, so I could have made a mistake here and there, but the concept remains the way I explained it. Okay, please like and subscribe my channel. Okay, please point out any mistakes if any. Thank you for watching this video.